Hello everybody, welcome to Nexus Gaming Series, Season 5, Round 3 action between Division B East teams gillyShark and 8-second Respawn. I'm your host, Odd Thought, for this 2-game set. Thanks for joining us. Hey Chess Looter, thanks for saying hi in chat. So we're just building the lobby right here. We have both teams basically on board. Let's go ahead and take a peek at some stats real quick as we finish up that process. And then we'll hop into the first draft of the match, which will take place on Volskaya Foundry, by the way. So here we can get a quick picture maybe of some heroes we'll see out of these two teams tonight. Also a few stats up there for your perusal. And I'm just checking if both captains are ready. It looks like they are. So in just a moment here, we'll be journeying to Volskaya Foundry. Looks like we can expect a lot of picks from the current meta in Division B. I see a lot of Deckards and Blazes, Johannas, Diablos. I do see a Murky in there. So all that aside, let's go ahead and get busy here. Alright, so let's get this started. Game 1 of this 2-game set, taking place on Volskaya Foundry, between gillyShark and 8-second Respawn. How did we get here? First map ban was 8-second Respawns. They chose to get rid of Tomb of the Spider Queen. And the second map ban was gillySharks. They got rid of Dragonshire, so here we are. First pick goes to gillyShark, and or first ban rather, and they get rid of Urel. Oh, it looks like someone's having Discord issues. Hopefully it works itself out. If not, we can always pause in the game, as is being discussed in draft chat right now. Alright, meanwhile, 8-second Respawn banned Samuro. I know that the camps on this map are particularly important because they drop items you can use, namely turrets. There is a healing item as well, so maybe that's one reason to get rid of Samuro on this map. We also have an Anubarak ban by gillyShark. And the last ban of the first rotation will be Diablo, a very strong frontliner currently. I was looking at the Division B meta earlier, and Diablo's doing rather well in this division. First pick goes to Deckard Kane. He has I think it was a 90% popularity rating in Division B, so you either see him picked or banned in 9 out of 10 games. This time he's going to be picked. His win rate is not what it once was, it's still good, but I think teams are learning to deal with him a little bit.
Anytime you're ready.
And 8-second Respawn's first rotation includes a Raynor and a Muradin. Extremely strong frontliner, lots of mobility and health. You also have some stuns available. Raynor is doing exceptionally well in Division B lately, so that's a really strong high priority pick on the side of 8-second Respawn there. In response, gillyShark chooses Blaze and Johanna. Blaze, one of the premier off-laners slash bruisers, second warriors in the game right now. And Johanna is still doing very well, main tanking for her teams. Final two bans, we see 8-second respawn getting rid of Cassia. They don't want to deal with blinds and the high damage. And final ban by gillyShark is on that white main. And Ildren, thank you so much for the follow. Alright, next rotation. Out of 8-second respawn, we see their healer choice. It's going to be Stukov. And we have Zagara. Somewhat unusual to see Zagara in my casting experience so far this season. But she can be extremely strong. She's known as a lane bully. Probably heard that said many a time. Stukov gives you exceptional healing output as well as some nice control with the silence circle. Final picks out of gillyShark include Alarak, speaking of silences, also gives you some displacement, and Junkrat, finishing off their team. Junkrat with displacement, nice sustain damage, poke, high mobility. Last pick of the draft goes to Jaina. Jaina's win rate has dipped a little bit, somewhat like Deckard's, but it's actually a little bit lower. I think she's below 50% now, but still very capable. Perhaps eclipsed a bit in Division B by Kilthos in some ways. But that's what we have, folks. Two strong drafts, some interesting picks. In, say, the Zagara and Alarak, for example. We can go ahead and get me off the screen here. And I'll announce the teams. So on the left in blue is gillyShark. We have Deckard played by Kaimo Trips, and Blaze is played by Koenig. Alarak played by Stark, Junkrat played by Chess Looter, and Johanna played by Jinxie Cat. In red on the right side of your screen is 8-second respawn. Muradin is played by Cody Kraz. Pawin Sloth is going to play Raynor. Zagara played by White Ghost. Jaina played by Peridot. And Stukov will be captained by Fleur de Mur. Pretty fast load times there. The GLHFs come out and chat from both teams. As we look at gillyShark here, as they assemble in the middle of the map here. Middle lane, rather. And in their base, there's an 8-second respawn assembled and ready to go. Looking at some first level talent choices. Deckard's going to go for that additional slow with Sapphire. Just put some English on it. So there's some additional travel distance, even more poke out of Junkrat. So the teams meet in the middle, however, briefly. It looks like Muradin is going to talent into Perfect Storm. I'm going to empower that Storm Bolt. Jaina's going to go for more sustain with Fingers of Frost. Also some additional damage once that quest is completed. Stark does a pull on Cody Kraz. Cody Kraz, though, playing Muradin. High mobility, so if he gets pulled, it's pretty safe. He can just jump away. Unless he's silenced as well, that could be a deadly combo going forward in this game. 8-second respawn, doing a 4-player rotation, mid and bot, while Koenig faces off against White Ghost in your top lane. Bit of a scrum here in the middle, with gillyShark taking some damage on a couple of heroes, and they're going to move on down to their fortification camp. And across the way we're going to see The same thing out of 8-second respawn. Again, you want to get these turrets, you want to accessorize in preparation for that first objective. Johanna has to pop unstoppable here, as 4 members of 8-second respawn had her number, put out quite a bit of damage there before she's able to walk away. Stukov tossing some heals out there. And the lane bully, White Ghost, able to push beyond the halfway line here. Gets pulled in by Alarak. Koenig really low, but it's going to be Zagara who's bullied and punished. Nice rotation there by gillyShark to make that happen. 8-second respawn seems to be aware that this support camp is being worked on. Jinxie Cat doing their part to try to zone out the other team. Give a full-on fight over this. This healing item here. Alarak will fall to Jaina. There's a 2-person root out of Deckard Cain. But ultimately, well, maybe not. Chess Looter is doing quite a bit of poke damage there. And the last minute mine sends 8-second respawns players all different directions, but they do end up with the healing item. Objective is up. Chess Looter is on the all-important area of the map where you can start counting up the percentage to 100. When you get to 100, you get the Tree Glove Protector. Looks like Zagara has moved bot lane, squaring off against Deckard Cain. Top lane, Blaze is soloing, doing some maintenance there. Deckard moves into middle, so we have a potential 5v4 here, although Zagara stays bot actually. So it's just a lot of dancing around for the moment. Both teams are at level 6. A slight advantage for gillyShark. Eight-second respawn is going to move up to top lane, get a little more XP. They sense that they're falling behind a bit. And since the objective is only at 50-60%, they have time to go farm up a little bit before they run back down here and engage properly. Level 7 talents have been acquired by gillyShark though. Same is true for 8-second respawn as a full-on fight breaks out here just to the right of the objective point. Cody Kraz taking quite a bit of damage, same as Raynor. But it will be Muradin who falls first. Blaze getting the credit for that kill. Kylo Tapson's super low, as is Jinxie Cat. Can they kill Johanna? No, it's Raynor who's gonna die. Another kill notched by Blaze. That will likely score the Protector for gillyShark, so they get the first Protector of the game. Just that little bit of XP lead allowing them to get to 7 first. Maybe wreaked a little havoc there. Looks like Raynor's going to work top as the Protector pushes in mid here. No, Raynor goes ahead and rotates mid. Zagara, meanwhile, drawing the attention of 2 members of gillyShark. Acceptable. Reducing the amount of player support that this Protector can enjoy. It's going to be forced to walk away. gillyShark still enjoys an XP lead. They did kill middle fort, which jumped their XP up almost to level 10. So they will be first to those ultimates, and there we have it. As 3 gillySharks push and get even more value from top lane, killing that second tower. And looks like they want more. This is a 3v4 under the fort. Stay a while and listen comes out. Probably intended as a disengage there, I would think. But Stark isn't done. Goes for a pull in. Chess leader rotates up. As does Cody Kraz, just a bit before gillyShark decides, you know what, let's just take the support camp instead. As Paw and Sloth works on the siege camp on the red side of the map. Take a peek at bottom lane here. 8-second respawn has achieved level 10 themselves, so everyone has ultimates now, or they're in the process of selecting them. So we're seeing the likes of Stay a While and Listen. We see Bunker. We see an additional stun out of Johanna with that Blessed Shield. As Cody Kraz and Paw and Sloth secure another turret for their team. gillyShark secures their siege camp. And we have a bit of a camp invade here by 8-second respawn. gillyShark moves in to respond. Koenig sliding in there. Stay a while and listen comes out. And Raynor is going to fall at the hands of Junkrat. Fleur de Mer in trouble here. Around 30% health. As gillyShark pushes back. Cody Kraz having trouble with the conveyor belts. Gets down to about 600 health. Still being chased. Chess leader leaping forward using Junkrat mines. And Cody Kraz survives with less than 200 health.
Access its terminal when I bring it online.
As Zagara works top lane, you see the blue fortification camp taken by gillyShark after a successful defense. So we also see Avatar, we see Ring of Frost. We saw Flailing Swipe used in that last fight. We have Raynor's Raider and Nidus Network out of Zagara. Stark goes ahead and occupies the objective point up here. So the count up will start counting up for gillyShark. They also notice that there's a big push from 8-second respawn onto their bottom forts, so they go ahead and say, alright, we'll trade forts. So 2 more forts will be destroyed. We are at 5-4 on building count in favor of gillyShark. But 8-second respawn likes what they see here. They're not going to bother with the objective up top. Instead, they're going to use this time to push in and maybe, quite possibly, take a key. Except gillyShark, eventually, they did decide to defend. It's a bit too much, they say. So we have a 5-on-4 here as the Tree Glove Protector is taken by gillyShark. Out comes Ring of Frost. Bunker. Junkrat's Tires looking around for some value, waiting for that stasis to expire. Does get some damage out on Jaina. Stay a while and listen is used. Getting a little bit of value there, but Johanna will die. Zagara getting credit for that kill. gillyShark down to 3 defenders. Cody Kraz pretty low on health there, as is Peridot. But the push-in continues. They want to trade keep for keep. This keep for this keep. Alarak is piloting the Tree Glove Protector solo. And the blue keep is down to the slimmest bit of life bar. Jaina's going to die to help secure that. Koenig's very low, but will walk away. As the Tree Glove Protector, meanwhile,
Blue team.
all the way across the map, will secure a keep for gillyShark. So
The protector's power.
pretty exciting sequence there, both teams trading multiple buildings. And it looks like Cody Kraz is going to die here, barring some kind of magic, which Muradin is in no short supply of, and indeed actually gets away, although Riptire is on the hunt. Cue the Jaws theme here, leaps the wall, but Jaina does a good job of killing it off. And during all of that, we had a camp invade from gillyShark, so they secure one more turret. And they're going to return the bottom lane favor here and take out the gate and possibly both towers. Zagara trying to defend alone. Alarak says no thank you. And Junkrat will finish off that kill. Zagara's out of the game for another 25 seconds. We have a 16-15 experience point lead enjoyed by gillyShark. And thank you, Nay OG, for the Twitch Prime resub. 12 months, that is a 1-year anniversary. Thank you so much. Snackin' liking both of the team names. Good to see you in chat. There's action all over the map. We have some bush meta possibly here by 8-second respawn. Checked by a Deckard cube though. Cody Kraz going in deep with that leap. Gets stunned into a stay a while and listen. Riptire, everything coming out. But Cody Kraz just won't die. There's another Deckard route. It took just about every button in the game to kill Cody Kraz, but that's what happened. Eventually now Peridot's in trouble. That's going to be 3 kills for gillyShark, and they're not done. White Ghost, 100 health and then 0 health. That's almost a complete team wipe for gillyShark. And they're going to go top lane where they have, they already have a keep killed. They have 20 seconds before Jaina's up. Even less time before 2 other members are up to do as much damage as they can on the core here. Shields will go down pretty quickly. And there's a kill on Raynor, which will probably embolden gillyShark to continue as the core goes down to 30%, 20%. And 8-second respawn can't stop it. That's going to be GG. gillyShark seeing a win condition and taking it to go up 1-0 in tonight's contest. That's a finish. Well done by gillyShark to see that win condition and to take it. Until then, this is a really even affair, I felt. Although gillyShark did have XP advantage for much of the game, it wasn't exorbitant. So we'll just look at some numbers real quick here before we set up game 2. What are we seeing here? Healing numbers are pretty much identical, 50 to 49k on the part of Deckard and Stukov. Stukov did suffer 1 death, Deckard with a clean sheet, 0 deaths. So pretty even output from that position. Jaina doing the most hero damage in the game, netting 1 kill, dying twice, and Junkrat responding with 35k to Peridot's 47. Johanna absorbing 53k damage while only dying once, and Muradin, some epic performances in there, 65k absorbed, 2 deaths. And how did our offlaners do? Zagara contributing 10,000 XP. Alarak actually finishing with 12k on the side of gillyShark. So good job by White Ghost and Stark in terms of XP contribution. We finished up a 14-minute, 48-second Game 1 on Volskaya Foundry with 11 kills for gillyShark and 2 kills for 8-second respawn. So that'll be our Game 1. Game 2 of this 2-game set will take us to Infernal Shrines. So I'm going to go ahead and go to our intermission screen while I set up that lobby. And I'll see you on the flip side. Thanks again, everyone, for watching this Division B East matchup between gillyShark and 8-second respawn.
The eternal conflict between the high heavens and the burning hells still rages within the Nexus. Now, the hosts of angels and demons have turned their attention to a new source of power, the Infernal Shrines. These mystical monuments are located within a 3-lane battleground. Periodically, one of the map's 3 shrines will become empowered, drawing each team to claim its might before the other can. These shrines are winner takes all. Upon activation, waves of skeletons will be summoned, and the first team to kill 30 of these creatures will release a powerful monster called the Punisher. This ally will not only help you attack your enemy structures, but also the enemy team itself. The Punisher is relentless. It will leap over obstacles, including gates, to unleash a torrent of attacks directly onto a hero. Each summoned Punisher also emerges with one of 3 random attributes. Mortar, which fires volleys of powerful ranged attacks in all directions. Frozen, which spawns exploding traps of ice that can lock enemies in place for several seconds. Arcane, which unleashes searing, rotating beams of magical destruction. When pushing with a Punisher, your team will have to decide how far to follow when it attacks enemy heroes. Tenacious pursuit may finish off weakened enemies, but it may also overextend your team in hostile territory. When facing a Punisher, try drawing it away from the protection of its team and burning it down as fast as possible. The monster has a limited range of engagement. Offering up a durable hero as bait may leave it exposed to quick, lethal damage. Keep in mind the position of the 5 mercenary camps. 2 are near the middle, but 3 are close to the lower shrine. If one team dominates this area, they may clear multiple camps. When this happens alongside a Punisher, a single push can become truly terrifying. In this battleground, teams must boldly seize opportunities. Will you claim the might of the Infernal Shrines, or will you fall before the Punisher?
Alright folks, we're building the lobby for Game 2 on Infernal Shrines. Snackin' in chat asks 14 minutes. That sounds faster than normal. That is a pretty short game. Blizzard repeatedly says that they like their games to last around 20 minutes. Also, thank you for the compliment. Great cast. Odd Dot, really enjoying the play-by-play. Thank you so much. Looks like we have some small technical difficulties going on from one of the teams in terms of their comms, so we'll just hang out a bit, check out our stats screen and so on. Maybe reminisce about Game 1 a little bit. see if both captains are getting close to being ready. Alright. Looks like we're good to go, I think. Yes, indeed. All right, let's get started. We go to Infernal Shrines. All right, welcome back, everybody. Quick little interlude there as we start Game 2. Infernal Shrines, just to remind everybody, or in case you're just joining us, was picked by gillyShark after winning Game 1. They're looking for a domination, which means that's a 2-game win in a 2-game set. But 8-second respawn is going to be keen to take Game 2 so they can get out of here with a draw. That's 1 league point apiece, which would be a fair outcome for sure. So we'll get the proceedings started with another Samuro ban. Second game in a row that we've seen that. And a Urel ban. So gillyShark shaping that off lane, getting rid of one of the premier warriors in the game right now. She can be very pesky. She jumps around the field quite a bit. She can displace, she can stun. A lot to worry about with Urel, so she's out. And I think the same could be true, or same could be said about Diablo, who was just banned by 8-second respawn. And we have another warrior, so 3 warriors banned. Anubarak will be the latest one to be banned. That's a lot of control removed from the game. Diablo also has stuns and displacements, so neither team wants to deal with that. Anubarak is also particularly strong against ability damage, so I wonder how that is going to influence what we'll see out of the blue side in this draft. First pick Deckard once again, this time on the side of 8-second respawn, and gillyShark reply with an Alex Straza pick and Johanna as their frontliner. Johanna is all around solid on that front line. Can't go wrong, and as an early pick it's pretty safe. You don't really reveal too much of any kind of late draft strategies you might be harboring. Alex Straza is strong. Her win rate isn't that great in Division B, but she does put out a lot of numbers. She's particularly favored on this map because she can heal while also doing damage. Because the objective on this map, as you saw in the intermission video, has to deal with killing a lot of little minions in a small space. Her dragon form does quite well. Final ban out of gillyShark's camp is Garrosh, so even more warriors being banned. That's pretty smart. In part because 8-second respawn has yet to claim their frontliner. We might see something like an ETC on the red side of the map here. Interesting final ban there. It's a Tychus. Could there potentially be... well, I dare not even say it. Tychus is really good against high health pool heroes. So we might see a Stitches, actually. Maybe even a Cho. That's what I didn't want to say. Next rotation from gillyShark. We see Alarak and Junkrat again. Seem to do well for them. Making a note here for potential future conversation. But yeah, we saw evidence of Alarak's power, especially against the likes of Muradin. Of course, Muradin. We saw that last game. I thought there might be a little switcheroo there in frontliners, but it's not to be true. So we see Muradin Kael'thas finishing off the draft for 8-second respawn. And then we see Blaze reappear for gillyShark to finish off Game 2's draft. See a Kael'thas pick for 8-second respawn. Mentioned Kael'thas during the first draft, so they moved from Jaina over to Kael'thas. Be interesting to see if Kael'thas wins where Jaina did not. As we make our way into the load screen, the all-important load screen. Alright, so on the side of gillyShark, we have Alex Straza, played by Kaimo Tripson, Junkrat, played by Chess Looter, Alarak, played by Stark, Johanna by Jinxie Cat, and Blaze, played by Koenig. Meanwhile, on the red team, 8-second respawn, Muradin, played by Cody Kraz, Kael'thas by White Ghost, Sonya by Peridot. Lost my place here. We have Deckard, played by Fleur de Mer, and Phoenix by Pollenslav. This is an interesting little saw blade maneuver. It's kind of pretty. It's sort of acceptable. It's like a musical out of the 40s. A little bit of a taunt there, just to make it even prettier. Acceptable. A little bit of performance art from gillyShark, feeling good after winning game 1. 8-second respawn, ready to go. Let the battle begin. Level 1 talents, we see Circle of Life out of Alex Straza, talenting into her AoE heal. Put some English on it from Junkrat, Extended Lightning from Alarak. There's a pull-in and a silence on Phoenix. Some Deckard roots. So there's an initial interaction, teams saying hello to each other. Top lane, our solo laners have already acquainted themselves with each other. But the main stage is still busy here. Both teams rotating as a group between top and mid so far, it looks like. 3 members of gillyShark stay bot lane, while 8-second respawn moves their camp up to the middle. Slightly faster rotation going on here from 8-second respawn so far. Merc camps are available. Neither team prioritizing them quite yet. So what else do we have in terms of talents? We have Neural Stim Pack for Blaze. 2 warriors, Cody Kraz and Jinx Cat, interacting a little bit in vision right there. Just a reminder to chat, NGS games impose a 2-minute stream delay, so if I don't respond to you right away, that's why. Junkrat's hanging out bot lane. Solo lane continues. It's actually a really interesting matchup between those 2 heroes. Both highly regarded for their solo lane prowess. As both teams hit level 4, let's look at the talent so far from 8-second respawn as they prioritize the siege camp here. gillyShark working on their siege closer to mid. Muradin is going for 3rd wind this game, a little bit more sustain, plus Thunderburn. Deckard is going for Scroll of Identify and Potion of Shielding. Kael'thas is giving us Mana Addict. It's pretty much the first level talent pick that you always see these days. into a Netherwind. Increased range on that stun. This Peridot works on this Bruiser camp. Sonya is giving us War Paint and Shot of Fury. Phoenix with mobile offense and target acquired. Three members of gillyShark have started the objective. They're up to 10 minion kills already. As 8-second respawn makes their way in. Cody Kraz is going to go ahead and run in. Decker Brutes come out. Cody Kraz is going to take quite a lot of damage. Dragon was popped as well. Alarak securing the kill on Cody Kraz. That's tough. It's tough for Murden to go in on an Alarak. Sometimes, thanks to that silence. Alarak, one of the few assassins that give you that particular ability. And the first Punisher is an Arcane. Arguably the strongest of the three. Although we're only 4 minutes in, it's the first objective, so it won't be that strong regardless. But it did go to gillyShark. Meanwhile, Alarak was stunned. Shoves away his enemies, though, to walk to safety. See Koenig and Kaimo Tripson working the middle of the maps for a moment here. Now Jinxie Cat is here as Blaze returns top lane. White Ghost doing a little bit of damage to the minions there, hoping for a bomb spread. Alexstrasza getting chased here. Nice response from gillyShark though to protect their support. But that could have been pretty scary for Alexstrasza. We are at 7-7 on experience levels, so we have a new tier of talents to look at. As our two teams sort of float around the map looking for value, looking for picks, working on merc camps. You see the siege camp in the upper left being taken by gillyShark, for example. Alexstrasza going completely into abundance, and we have a pause after a DC. Looks like Deckard Cain has disconnected. Let's see, we're at 6:45 Pacific. Just wanted to keep track of how long we're paused. Looks like Fleur de Mer has returned. Is only mostly dead. Looks like both captains are ready, so we'll do the countdown. And then unpause the game. And get back into the action. That was short and sweet, fortunately. Alright, hey Gravesville. Thank you so much for the raid. There's plenty of NGS action going on tonight, folks. And we casters tend to do that when one of our matches ends. We'll raid to another one. So welcome to all the raiders who joined from Graysville. Welcome to this Division B East matchup between gillyShark in the blue and 8-second respawn in the red. The two teams fought over this siege camp here while I was saying hello. Still tossing some abilities at each other. Cody Kraz seeing some potential value there, but Junkrat said no thank you and hopped away. Maxazillion, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Just want to remind everybody there's a 2-minute delay between what you see on camera and stream, and chat rather, as per NGS regulations. Alright, level 10's picked. Almost at the exact same time for these two teams. Alexstrasza going with Cleansing Flame. We see Riptire, we see Counter-Strike, Blessed Shield, more stuns from Johanna again, Bunker, a typical pick from Blaze. And 8-second respawn is going to give us Avatar, Stay a While and Listen. We have Phoenix coming out from Kael'thas for that zoning and AoE potential. Wrath of the Berserker from Sonya and Purification Salvo. Dragon is popped. That means the fight is on. Riptire comes out, as does Stay a While and Listen. Getting some decent value out of Deckard there. Alexstrasza will actually get a kill on Sonya. Alexstrasza is so difficult to deal with on this map once Dragon comes out. So because it's 5v4 in favor of gillyShark for a few more seconds, 8-second respawn decides to just back off a little bit. They're still poking though. 37 minions killed by gillyShark. They only need 2 more to secure the Punisher. And they do. Meanwhile, Peridot on Sonya getting a building kill top lane. Sonya tried to defend it, but couldn't quite. Meanwhile, bot lane Muradin is going to die to Alarak. Punisher leaps in on White Ghost. One of the squishiest members of 8-second respawn, but this should be a second building kill for gillyShark. Getting decent value out of this objective phase with 2 buildings killed. And gillyShark will take a 12 to 11 XP lead. Looks like they're eyeing this siege camp. Go ahead and take that perhaps, although 8-second respawn is willing to fight for it. Now they'll just have to settle for clearing it. Peridot is working top lane on the other side of the map now, and wisely rotates away. Running up to that vent and teleporting back to the safety of their base. Chess leader secures that blue siege camp for blue. Jinx Cat has some fire on her, but that's about all that comes from that interaction there. As we continue to work on Merc Camps level 13, it was achieved by gillyShark a short time ago. So they have a pretty decent advantage here, so they want this fight, and they take it. Junkrat killing Deckard with the Riptire there. Going for more, that's some aggressive maneuvering out of Chess Leader with the Alarak pull, and Silence White Ghost is going to fall. That's 2 more kills for gillyShark. Perhaps a third if they can take down Muradin. Not this time though, says Cody Kras. Are we going to see some more siege out of gillyShark? Or will they walk away? It looks like they at least want some towers to die. 8-second respawn, achieve level 13, so we have talent parity now. And all members are alive for both teams. 8-second respawn does have a few more ultimates available. Or they did for a little while there. gillyShark got what they wanted, I suppose, and they're going to go ahead and move on up to this middle lane, which is just below where the shrine will be activating in under 10 seconds. A second respawn doing some lane maintenance here, getting ready to start it, and they do. They start the objective right away, hoping to get a little bit of a lead here, while gillyShark secures their bruiser camp, knowing they have a little bit of time before they have to go in there and contest the objective. Cody Kraz surrounded by the gillyShark team. There's Riptire and Phoenix. Cody Kraz very low, 400 health, but it's be Deckard who dies first before Murden does eventually die. Alex Straza takes to the skies, does some damage and heals from the safety of the clouds, landing rather aggressively. On 8-second respawn side of the map. And why not? 2 members of red team are dead. Although that's no longer true. We have 5v5 again. However, gillyShark still has the benefit of a 16-14 advantage in XP and a talent tier lead. And guess what's going to enter the frame here? Yet another Punisher for gillyShark as they destroy the middle lane fort and move in, wanting this keep. Phoenix will come out, and actually Phoenix will disappear from the game for a little while. Sonya falling, Johanna netting that kill. White Ghost being chased by the Punisher a little bit. Jinxie Cat doing a decent job of zoning out the enemy team, allowing this Punisher to get even more work done. That will be the first keep of the game destroyed by gillyShark. 2 members of 8-second respawn are still dead, so gillyShark are going to move on in here. Deckard tries to slow them down with a story time, but it's not going to be enough. Deckard dies. Kael'thas also dying. Phoenix down to 88 health. Teleports back behind the safety of that wall there. And that's going to be a GG as the core's down to 20%. gillyShark with a 2-0 domination of their Division B rivals. 8-second respawn. Another 14-minute game. Making it quick on the part of gillyShark. Alright, so what are we looking at here? Alex Straza having quite the game. Kaima Tripson putting out 52k heals with 2 kills, 0 deaths, 9 assists. Well done there. Deckard responding with 32k heals. Having a little bit of a rough time that game, perhaps. Alarak doing a lot of work as well. 3-8 and 0 line with the highest hero damage in the game. Followed closely by Kael'thas, played by White Ghost, on the side of 8-second respawn. Unfortunately, couldn't find any kills though. That was an 11-0 kill count in favor of gillyShark in our game 2. Highest XP earners, Blaze, played by Koenig. 10.8k XP contribution, Sonya, played by Peridot at 10k. Pretty close there in our offlaners. So there you go. That's a 2-0 result in favor of gillyShark tonight between these 2 Division B East teams. I'm going to see if I can line up a short conversation with Kaima Tripson real quick and ask a couple of questions. The dominating captain. Alright, just setting that up. Thanks again everybody for joining us for this Division B East Season 5 Round 3 contest. It seemed to fly by. 28, 29 minutes of total playtime there. Let me just move into a lobby here. Hello, hello. Chess Looter is in lobby with me.
How's it going?
Hey, well, I'll ask you that actually. After that 2-0, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. We had a lot of really solid play tonight.
Yes, indeed. Just looking at game 2 numbers because they're in front of me. Alex Straza having a match.
Yeah,
Probably
I mean
not super
that's
surprising given the map.
yeah, I mean it also helps that that's one of Kaimo's favorite healers to play. It just felt like everyone on our team was on comfort picks that game.
Sure. Um, yeah, Junkrat Alarak is so there's a couple of picks I don't see very often in my casts. Wonder if you could talk a little bit about maybe your team's just general approach to the draft tonight.
Sure. Stark is a god tier Samuro player,
Hmm.
which is why they kept banning it.
Right.
And so when he isn't playing Samuro, he's playing Alarak. So it's just a super comfortable pick for him to be on, and for whatever reason, I've basically been one-tricking Junkrat the entire tournament series, and people haven't figured that out and have been banning it, so if it isn't broken, I'm just going to keep playing Junkrat all day.
Yeah. Why do you suppose Junkrat isn't being prioritized in that regard?
I mean, he flies under the radar for a lot of things. Like, he's
Hmm.
not flashy like Genji or just impossible to remove like Urel,
Right.
and he's not one of the new heroes, so he like there's not anything really flashy that happens with him. People walk onto traps, he flings them around, and eventually they die.
Yeah. I like to remind myself that he has a displacement. You know, like everyone's afraid of Garrosh, but he has pretty much the same kind of displacement available to him. But he doesn't
And I,
seem to be feared in the same way.
yeah, I mean, he
So,
doesn't have the 50 armor buff that Garrosh has going along with him. But
right.
one thing that Junkrat can do on short, Garrosh can't,
Uh-huh.
is he has the ability to follow up with the Punisher when they're trying to bait it over the wall.
Right.
So a couple times there, I was stepping up really aggressively to their forward or keep wall
Hmm.
and waiting for the Punisher to jump in, because the stun that the Punisher gives is long enough for you to get a mine behind the enemy hero and launch him back into your team.
Right.
So it just turns a winning situation into an even better one.
Hmm. Um, maybe you could pivot to game 1 just for a moment here. I was really impressed with how, I mean, both of these games were pretty short. Is that common for your team, by the way, to have these sort of 14-minute-ish games?
This is actually pretty uncommon for us. We
Okay.
generally take a slightly weaker early game in favor of a really strong late game.
Mm-hmm.
And just with the Alarak picks this evening, that's really been swinging the favor into the early game for us, just with the displacement and playmaking that he offers as well. If we're
Right.
running that Samuro, for instance, we're more focused on macro, while the Samuro's killing their backline, we're taking merc camps and soaking lanes.
Hmm. So you don't use Samuro so much as the like merc securer per se?
I mean, he's better at getting into the enemy backline and killing
Right.
them than most heroes can be, so if he's good in that regard, why not use him there?
Yeah. Good point. One thing that impressed me about game 1 was how you saw the win condition and went for it like right away, even though some other teams may have maybe not risked it. So I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about that call, or what that was like in comms, how you make those kinds of decisions, maybe.
So Stark's our primary shot caller, and he's played a lot of games, especially with the heroes that we've been playing tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So it's super comfortable for him, and it's pretty comfortable for the rest of us to know just how much core damage we can do in a set amount of time. And the heroes that we were playing have a lot of good staying power. Alarak can push his ult button and get a couple seconds of invulnerability, which is extra time that the enemy team can't be devoting resources to other targets.
Mm-hmm.
Junkrat can basically be like an Illidan on the core if he can get consecutive Ripper airs off. it's just really easy for us to play around their core, soak up resources, and chip away at it.
Interesting. It's just so fun to see teams sort of go beyond the meta that's been shaping up, you know, and show us some different approaches to the game.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to play people that you don't see every day.
Exactly. And I was watching Cavalier Guest stream earlier today, and he was talking about this subject. So it's fun that this sort of lineup appeared in my cast tonight. But his contention, I wonder if you agree, is that Heroes of the Storm's depth has barely been scratched even by the pros, because they have to, you know, they pick conservatively to just get the most dependable results that are kind of known already in the scene. And so his contention is that there's still a lot to be explored here. And it seems like your team, just by your picks tonight, probably agree with that. Is that something that you spend a lot of time on, like working out different concepts, as opposed to researching the meta and trying to be the best at the meta?
So we do a lot of things that are somewhat off meta, and we chat with pro players every now and then because they're incredibly kind to us. Last week we ran a solo healer Abathur comp, and that just absolutely bamboozled the enemy team, and they were caught so far off guard by it that we snowballed that into a pretty quick win as well.
Interesting. Yeah, that's actually something specific that he mentioned was that he's like, the heal build Abathur is a thing. You just have to, you know, accept it. And you guys have actually done it and made it work, so that's cool to hear. But I wonder, I don't want to keep you forever, so I wonder if you have any shout outs you'd like to give before we ease on down the road here?
Sure, of course.
Okay.
Shout outs, of course, primarily, as always, to Team gillyShark for having me on. It's been a lot of fun so far. And shout out to Gillyweed herself for allowing this community to flourish and letting us play together. And beyond that, shout out to everyone watching.
Oh, so I was wondering if there was any attachment, because you don't see Gilly referenced very much. I was wondering if there was some kind of connection there.
Yeah, I mean, we're all members of our community, and
okay, cool.
A couple of us are mods, and we're just active in the community. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's really cool to know about. All right, well, thanks again for having this conversation with me, and congratulations to you and your team on the 2-0 domination tonight.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the cast.
You're welcome. We'll see you around the league. Okay, folks, so that's going to conclude my broadcasting day. I'm going to go ahead and, well, first of all, thanks, Chymotripsin, for the comment on my voice being so soothing. It's fun to hear that. Also, thanks, Jinxie, Jinxie Cat, of course, from tonight's game, actually, for the follow. Thanks again to Nay for the resub. That's a full year. You've been following my Twitch hijinks, so thank you very much. And at this point, I'm going to look up another game that we can all raid in the NGS stratosphere. So let me pull up that information here. Super exciting as I look up what else is going on tonight. Okay, let's go ahead and hop over to another Division B match. We'll just stay in the division. I see 1+1 = Pain is playing Heroes of the United States right now. So we'll go ahead and hop over there after I flash my outro screen. And I just want to... Ooh, all kinds of follows coming out. I don't have my usual alerts turned on while I'm doing NGS. So sorry about that, but thank you to Stark TV, Koniggeist, Chymotripsin, and Chess Looter. Thank you so much for the follows. I love it. And I will be doing, one more thing I'll say about myself before we go ahead and raid is there's some potential that I'll be involved in the game of the week coming up on Thursday. So watch out for that. And I also have a cast Thursday night at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's going to be a Division C West matchup. You'll see the information for that on my outro screen. So that aside, thanks again everybody for the follows and the resubs and hanging out and saying hi. I love it so much. And I will see you next time. Stay tuned for the raid. We'll be moving on out of here in just a moment. Ta-ta.